He is a horrible attorney that royally screwed us.
What's going on, y'all? Attorney Tom here. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to a clip from the Philip DeFranco show in which they were discussing fair use. There's some drama going on, and I'm going to give my input as a practicing attorney who kind of accidentally became a content creator. I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to weigh in on this situation. And on top of all of that, fair use is the most important legal principle for content creators. And in becoming a content creator, I have realized just how f***ed up the system is for fair use. Spoiler alert, somebody sent me this clip last night, so this is not a blind react, but nonetheless, I think there's a lot we can discuss from this. So let's jump right into it.
And then next up, let's definitely talk about this big DMCA strike copyright situation with kind of a nice little sprinkling of drama on top, although that drama does provide very interesting insight into something else that we previously covered on this show years back. So you have this very popular Twitch streamer by the name of xQc, who's become a massive topic of conversation ever since he was temporarily banned from the platform about a week ago, right? And reportedly, he was banned for showing copyrighted snippets of the Tokyo Olympics on a live stream. And rather than just sitting by and taking that, he is reportedly contesting the DMCA strike that he received from the International Olympics Committee by filing a counterclaim to have it dismissed, which notably...
Essentially what happens is if a party files a DMCA claim against a content creator has the right to file a counter notice. If a counter notice is filed, then the party who filed the DMCA has 10 days to file legal action against the content creator. If legal action is not filed, then the content claim is released and the creator can use it as fair use. The problem with this, and the reason why a lot of creators do not file counterclaims, is you are basically asking for a lawsuit. Whether you're right or wrong, people don't want to go through the legal process. I myself have been DMCA'd, and I, an attorney, have decided not to file a counterclaim, even though I know I was right, because I just didn't want to deal with it. And on top of getting sued, depending on how the lawsuit works out, you avail yourself to content strikes. So in short, if you file a counter notice, the stakes get much higher.
Could potentially lead to a lawsuit from the IOC. That is something that you often don't see, right? We even saw xQc's lawyer, Ryan Morrison, aka video game attorney, confirming that clients are usually advised against countering, because even if you're in the right, the legal process, it could be risky and very expensive. But here, saying that they're confident that the content in question was fair use and that they hope that the IOC will, quote, make the right decision and let this die. So with this, we've seen a lot of people talking online, including one of the most notable voices on this topic,
So that's right, a counter notice is not a legal action. It starts that 10-day window. Essentially, it says, hey, you have 10 days to either sue me or this content is going back up. And again, you can see why a lot of people do not file counter notices, because you are basically saying, hey, either let this go or you formally sue me. And that's pretty risky.
YouTuber Ethan Klein. He, as you might remember, won a landmark fair use case against Matt Haas back in 2017. But I had no idea it got this bad. In a recent live stream, he said that Morrison was the first attorney to represent H3H3 in their suit, which I knew, but then adding,
He is a horrible attorney that royally screwed us. And the fact that he's handling this makes me very, very nervous. Ryan is out there saying, this is fair use, we're fighting it, and not, I'm not a fucking media attorney, and I'm not equipped to deal with this. Like, I've held my tongue on this guy for so long, but now it's come to this point where I see him in a position to cause even more damage. And I really think that this is a dangerous place for everyone to be when he's being represented by this guy who really doesn't know what he's doing.
Ethan also explaining the one.
So I have no idea who this lawyer is, but essentially what Ethan is saying is precedent affects everybody. So if xQc goes to war against the owners of the Olympic broadcast, which I think is the Olympics itself, and he loses, well, that sets bad law for everyone else. And yes, H3H3's case was incredibly helpful for fair use. In fact, if you look at my bio, I cite that case in my disclaimer for all the videos that I use.
Once they replaced Morrison with a different team, the new attorneys were shocked at how poorly their case was handled, and saying they even considered launching a malpractice case against him. But Ethan also isn't the only one raising concerns about Morrison. We've also seen the very popular and fellow Twitch streamer Pokimane giving her 2 cents, raising concerns about Morrison. But this more focused on Morrison being the co-founder and CEO of Evolved Talent Agency, which represents xQc and others.
I believe that he is both. He acts as a lawyer and as an agent to streamers and content creators. And I feel like that is not a good position to be. I feel like it is even potentially a conflict of interest in some cases. Your lawyer should always be someone who's trying to get as strict and as beneficial of a contract as possible. Whereas if you're also someone's agent, you just want the deal to go through because you get commission off of that. Again, my personal opinion, just my opinion. I don't think a person should be acting both as a lawyer and an agent. I think if you're a really good agent, you're just an agent. And if you're a really good lawyer, you're just a lawyer.
Right, and with this, as far as what xQc had to say regarding Pokimane, and Ethan actually right before today's show, he was streaming. Regarding Pokimane's concerns, after watching the clip of her, he responded.
She seems very knowledgeable about this stuff, and to me, it feels like with what she's saying, that she passed the bar and she has a law degree.
So I did pass the bar and have a law degree. And what Pokimane is saying is potentially correct. There could very well exist a conflict of interest between somebody acting as a lawyer and an agent. Now, just because I said a conflict of interest could exist doesn't necessarily mean that one exists in this particular situation. If the interests of the lawyer and the agent are aligned in this situation, well, then inherently there's no conflict, right? And because I don't know xQc or his interest or his agenda, I am not qualified to say whether or not a conflict of interest exists in this particular situation. All I can say is one could exist. And in any situation where a conflict of interest could exist, generally speaking, the lawyer or agent or the person in the position that could potentially have a conflict of interest presents a conflict of interest waiver to their client, saying, hey, xQc, just so you know, at some point in time, there could potentially be a conflict of interest, and I'm just letting you know of that, and you are waiving your right away, or you are implicitly agreeing that you're still okay with me representing you. And I know it might sound scary, but conflict of interest waivers are actually fairly common in the legal world. Why are they common? Because lawyers like to cover their ass. You better believe if I'm in any situation where there could be a conflict of interest, even if it's a 1 in a million chance, I'm educating my clients about it and having them sign the waiver because I don't want to get sued.
This is an official statement. I'm probably just going to fire my lawyer. I'm hiring Pokey instead. She just knows better.
Regarding Ethan's comments about Ryan Morrison, he said,
things have changed because guys, listen, it's not one guy. It's a whole entity. It's multiple entities.
That's fair.
Okay, why am I even talking about this? What do I have to disprove like a random third parties?
Also, as far as a comment from Ryan Morrison, we reached out this morning, have not heard from him yet. But yeah, that's ultimately where we are with this, and we're gonna have to keep our eyes on it, and kind of on 2 fronts. One, specifically regarding Ryan Morrison, because there appears to be a lot of chatter and accusations there, as well as just the IOC and xQc. My gut tells me the last people I want to get in a legal battle with is the IOC or like the NFL. Yeah, this will either fizzle out or blow up in someone's face. I don't know who, but that said, I would really love to know your thoughts on the whole story in general, as well as anything with Pokimane, Ethan, xQc, and the reactions thus far. It's going to be an interesting one to watch.
So that's it for the Philip DeFranco clip. The biggest problem that I see creators have is their ability to appeal a DMCA strike, because the only real power they have is filing this counter notice. And again, that's inviting a lawsuit. So nobody really wants to do that. Now, platforms like YouTube have an interlocutory type appeal where you can appeal before filing a counter notice. But the problem with that is the appeal goes to the person who content struck you in the first place. So you could write the most beautiful appeal, which I have done before, and you know there's just some troll at the other side saying, oh, this is a very well written appeal. Denied. Now, the law does allow for a counterclaim, for lack of better words, for a malicious DMCA strike if you go to court. But again, the issue is nobody has the time or the money to go to court in the first place. And the money you would recover from that cause of action probably wouldn't be enough to justify hiring lawyers. Again, we have private jets to pay. And I've thought about this a lot, and I'm still working with and changing my answer constantly, but YouTube or TikTok or Twitch or whoever needs some sort of third-party independent commission that can make rulings on this. And you give them jurisdiction to make rulings by putting it in the terms of service. Hey y'all, if you upload a video to YouTube, well, your interlocutory DMCA appeals can be governed by X company. But then again, there are totally problems with that scenario as well. I don't know. And that system obviously has problems as well. And part of me really wanted to make this video because I wanted to ask y'all, my community, this question. How do we fix this? And how could I help use my magical lawyer skills to help this out? Because it totally sucks. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I think today's video was a little bit light on information. I just really more wanted to bring this problem to light. All right, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.